Good evening, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all the ships at sea. In case you have not heard, former U.S. President Donald Trump was convicted in New York a few days ago of charges of falsifying business records. Regardless of your political leanings, let us take a moment to allow that to fully sink in. Now, after a moment of thought, let us go further and take a look at where this leaves the United States of America. Specifically, what kind of nation do you wish to leave for your children and grandchildren? Maybe you fall into the side of glee over this ruling. I merely ask, where does this take us as a civilized nation? If, as it now appears, we are headed squarely for a brave new era of the political party in power, exerting its will on anyone who threatens it via any means, including the courts necessary, is that a productive and positive direction for this nation? Perhaps you fall to the side of sadness over this ruling. I am with you on this one. Take a moment, viewers. Take a moment and breathe. Do we really want to go down this path as a civilized nation? William Jefferson Clinton, U.S. President from 1993 until 2001, paid a former female acquaintance settlement money after years of litigation. While the circumstances are not identical, there is also no evidence that Donald Trump, in fact, ordered his then attorney to hide the payments to Stormy Daniels. Additionally, the supposed felonies he was just convicted of have run out on statutes of limitations in New York, along with having only been classified as misdemeanors to begin with. So all things considered, I ask again, do we really want to go down this path as a civilized nation? Lawsuits and weaponized justice only lead us to tit for tat that will never end if we allow this to persist. The very dangerous path of prosecuting one's political enemies, one that we have been headed down since Joe Biden took office, will lead us to complete destruction. We've already witnessed this in many Central and South American nations, along with some in Africa. We can only hope that either the U.S. Supreme Court steps in and rules against trivial trials intended to hamstring political opponents in the midst of a campaign, or then U.S. Congress initiates an amendment to the U.S. Constitution that prevents this travesty from happening again. But, my viewers, what if SCOTUS doesn't? They refused to step in when it was apparent the 2020 presidential election was, in fact, fixed late in the night. It would seem, for all intents and purposes, the American citizenry has no recourse against tyranny in the highest offices, as the supposed checks and balances built into our federal Constitution by the Founding Fathers have not provided checks and balances against true modern-day criminals. What we have just witnessed, my viewers, is criminal, despicable, and every American who values the rule of law should be appalled. Good night, and sleep well.